Hello, everyone. I'm Lynn, Dream Girl Writer, inspired to make this video for you today because of all the myriad connections and golden threads that have come together in my life to really confirm that this journey that I am on is in service to the greatest good and is, in fact, guided by divine will. And one of the gifts that I have come to treasure that Divine Mother has given me in this life is my dream process, my ability to unpack my dreams through the writing of them. And now, after 13, 14 years of devoted work to my dream, I find that I can actually embody them without writing them. And if I choose to write them, I can do so after that. But in order to really flush out or flesh out, if you will, all the connections that come with a dream, if I move away a little bit from the writing of it, so that I can kind of invite in, and a lot of times I will wait until the morning light if I have a dream, wake up after it in the wee hours instead of writing it as has been my habit, or even writing part of it, like snippets of it to remember in daylight. I will just say a prayer to Holy Spirit to please help me embody this dream so that when I awake in the daylight hours, I can sit in nature and tease out even more connections from the dream and even more meaning and sort of divine threads to follow in my waking life. I have these pearls on today because there is a very old picture of me, and I'm going to take a chance that you can see this faded picture. And I have a set of pearls on there. I'm about 8 years old in this picture, and I have a very weird hairdo that I did myself. And the dress that I have on is pink and also studded with pearls. And one of the reasons why I bring that up at this point in time is because last month I had a dream in which I was able to confront myself as a little girl to heal my core wound of a trauma that happened in my very early years. And that also involved my sister. And that dream has kind of in the lag phase of it, I mean, made tremendous realizations and had wonderful epiphanies after that dream by the clearing of this wound, by really getting to the core of this trauma and letting it go and letting Divine Mother swallow it up and compost it into our sacred wisdom, if you will. I've also been having kind of corollary dreams or sister dreams from that, in which, again, my sisters in this life will come up as characters that actually turn out to be me talking to myself about our familial patterns or about our sister patterns, sister jealousies, competitions, that sort of thing. And the pearl necklace, to get back to what I started to say, is that this picture where I have a pearl on, I'm an 8 year old. You know, what 8 year old do you know has a pearl on in their school picture? That was my school picture. And I remember that although my mother had very little jewelry and most of it was costume jewelry, my grandmother gave me certain pieces of her jewelry, sometimes to wear and even to keep. And I believe this pearl necklace was from my grandmother. And me being a grandmother now, and just now at my age, in my 70s, clearing a childhood wound, is just kind of seems to me to be this wonderful kind of serendipitous stream of consciousness or wisdom that's coming into play into my life now to give me so much peace and joy about who I am and the journey that I've made in this life, and to be so grateful for the grace that's come of it. And in this picture, this was about 2 years before the traumatic event of my life happened that I attribute to being the imprint for my core wound in this life. And in the picture at 8 years old, when I look into that little girl's eyes, I see so much love and so much hope. And I do remember as a little girl feeling like I could accomplish anything. And I had a very dysfunctional family, and we were anything but supported in thinking that way. But I did have teachers outside of the home and certain role models outside of the home that kind of instilled that in me or sparked those inspirations that I had as a little girl. And that's one of the reasons why I do this work and encourage all of you to do your work, your inner work. And whether it is based in a dream process or some other kind of process, and whether it is just in noticing things in your life and being willing to look in the mirror and do some inner work and pay attention to how to reset the default for love in your relationships, if you will, whether it's the simplest thing or you really make a study of it, as I have with my dreams, and devote a lot of time to understanding the process and utilizing the process as a spiritual practice. Whatever it is, just do your best. We have a, a legacy to leave. Each and every one of us has a very unique thing that, although our gifts come from a divine source of wisdom and inspiration, they come through us, through our experiences in this plane, in this form, in this body, in this life. And our unique experiences are what make that gift so special to us that no one else could ever imitate. And so, this work that we do in following the thread of our lives all the way back to our wound imprinting as children, or from there on out, where we shut ourselves down in some way, whether we closed our heart because of a hurt, or whether we decided that our mind was right in thinking that this was all we could have or all that we could get, or it was foolish to reach for more. Whatever it is that is limiting you and keeping you from realizing your superpowers as a person in this life and leaving a legacy for the rest of us, for the rest of the world, please consider that you can get beyond it, that you can get to the bottom of those fears, those blocks that have held you back so far at any age. It is never too late. And one of the other things that I feel this pearl necklace also signifies for me is that I actually bought it at a shop in Cambria, California, which I later took over the place of business as my place of business and formed a business there. And even though the business ended, I still kept the necklace and keep that memory of how, when I started that business, I started it with the hope and the love and the inspiration and the excitement that I had, the same excitement that I had as this 8-year-old girl right here, right there. I am now looking upon life in that same way. And it is because I have done this work with my dreams. It is because I have been brave enough and diligent enough to look at these demons from my past or these fears in the mirror and to see them for what they are. They're just passing shadows over the sun. And someone a long time ago told me this acronym for fear: false evidence appearing real. And forgive me if that is a famous quote and I'm, either misquoting it or not giving credit to someone. But that really says a lot to remember that your fears never last. They're not meant to last. They're meant to stimulate you, to prompt you, to inspire you to get past them. They're very uncomfortable. They scare us to death. They feel like they're going to dismantle our whole lives. It feels like that if we even admit to being afraid, that we could fail at everything. And yet nothing could be further from the truth, because every fear, every shadow, every trauma has a gift. And that gift is just waiting for us to look a little bit further, to open up the box that it's come in, and to find that gem, that pearl of wisdom within that beautiful shadow that has been crying out to us like a hurt child all these years to please release me, release you. Find the freedom of love. Find the way to face your fears. Find the way to live your wildest dreams. Know that you are fully supported. Divine Mother is here. There's whole communities of people that if you only open your heart up, they will open their heart up to you. Thank you for listening, and please let me know if I can be of service to you as well. Sweet dreams. Thank you for returning to love.